to if and why, this forces immediate resignation. Now, probably, once again, when we came into this position, yeah, this kind of position, so we have to go here and then here. And okay, F7 is one of the things. So we start with H4, the most confusing move. And this comes. Once again, black achieves the aim. Now the luxury of having the pawn here, if you take the reverse opposition, or when this position comes, white can alternate the square. So if it is on H3, black takes the reverse opposition, then he advances his pawn either 1 or either 2. This makes the win for white. For instance here, since it's in a black square, probably H3, H5, H4, king, no, H3 he cannot play.
First you
H5,
play.
so he has to go here, H pawn we cannot touch, yeah? So we move here, here. Now this makes a draw. Once again.
Yeah, but I think first F7 you play.
But that is also some point. So we start by here first, yeah. Sorry, by here. Here, this is the position. In this position, we can easily play this. Or you take this one, we'll do the jump.
Yes.
And it will win. So if you take the, it's always confusing which opposition he has taken. If you take the normal opposition,
No, this we saw.
this we saw, yes.
King E8.
So if he takes the wrong opposition,
Again, F7,
H5,
and
King
then you
F6, H4, no, King G6. Now we have to move into the same direction. H4, King E8, F7, King F8, King F6, yeah. H4, King E8, F7, King F8, King F6. Now H6 makes a draw.
No, I think first we have to play F7 and then...
And to see whatever
yes,
happens,
and then
yes?
whatever he plays with the black pawn, we will play
Alternate,
suitable
but
move.
sometimes it's, so this was the first
F7
one.
you play here, yes.
Here we play F7, and it
now
wins,
you
you see,
you
yeah?
play what you want.
H5, King F6, H4. If I play H5,
King F6?
H4.
Then maybe not King F6, but...
There's no other, it will. So I think here we have to keep the pawn. We have to play ourselves into the color. Where this king stands. H4. Okay, H pawn is untouchable. He goes here. We push again. Goes here. We push again, and draw is always difficult to difficult to give this. That's probably
Okay.
started
Wait,
wrong.
No, it's okay, I will just...
You have to fix it.
yes.
Sorry about it. It's always confusing, this thing. So we came here in this position. We came here. We had problems with the direct opposition, yes, or reverse one.
Just put it in your pocket.
Okay, that will be fine. We had problems with the direct opposition or not, or the other one, or the reverse one.
We had problems with the reverse one because he played immediately King E8.
Okay, so King E8. So this is it.
King is on E5. No, F5.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we come here and he goes there. So now let's calculate. f7, h5. Yeah, f7 wins right away. If this is, there shouldn't be any problem here. We just win. Yeah?
Yes.
And if this is the other case,
No, he should play instead of after f7 he should play h6.
yeah, but that doesn't matter because we have enough
Yes.
time here.
So that's the thing.
That's the thing. Now, couple of more things to say about this type of ending. This is very famous hand game for many different things. Here, still white is winning. And if we would have this, it would have been very easy. So, obviously, white has to move, otherwise conquering f6 square would have been tremendously easy. But after white wins, white plays, when black steps, white can really give the e pawn and then get the g pawn and win the game. This, which is really quite easy, with one last trick to remember. If we go, we have to go to h6 to have the sure win. But like in this game, like the difference between rook a2 and rook b5 in this game, even if you go to h6 later, sorry, even if you go to f6 later, you can change it. But here you have to be careful because g6 makes a stalemate and a draw. But what about this one? Because in this one, we cannot afford sacrificing our f pawn because we have the corner pawns. Here the problem for black that out of the related squares, for one square, white has two squares to step. So let's say we go here, and then no matter to which one we step, still we deliver the triangulation, which is called triangulation. King f7, king f5, or king e8, king e6, then we have one. Historically speaking, Osnos, long-time second of Korchnoi, who had some allegations to give the moves of second game in this Dragon game in the World Championship match with Karpov to the other camp. He achieved this winning ending with Yudasin, Grandmaster Yudasin. So Grandmaster Yudasin said like, this is a draw. And they really agreed. Osnos later understood it immediately. Was looking for Grandmaster Yudasin. Unfortunately, couldn't find, or fortunate for all of us, couldn't find Grandmaster Yudasin. This happened in one of the St. Petersburg City Championships. And Yudasin, the great player, he played candidates and stuff. I mean, he was probably himself, was not so sure. It was a good offer to Osnos, and Osnos agreed. Now, back to our ending. I mean, obviously, white didn't need this kind of strange attacks. White played very straightforward. Just king c5, she kept opposition with king c3. Now, I was a little bit surprised when I've seen in chessnews.ru, Sergei Surov, our journalist, who is one of the journalists attending all these rounds. His wife is playing here, as usual. She's playing very well, Mrs. Javakashvili. And in his site it was written like, black has lost drawish rook ending. I mean, this rook end game is really, really difficult for black. Somehow, for some strange reason, black has gone directly to this rook endgame. Look at the activity. Usually this kind of endgames you lose. You don't enter into these endgames. You don't trade the pieces deliberately to go into such endgames. Probably before the free day, 7 rounds in a row, tough opposition, Diamante Daulite got tired. And it looked to her, somehow it looked to her that whatever she does, a draw would have come. And even the final part of the end game, she played it poor. And I would say, like, sooner or later, she had to really to push this f pawn to create some weaknesses. Because if the pawn walks, she may get some counterplay. So now we shall see if she will be zugzwanged. Once again, f3 is the move because king d3, king b4, these long lines we have to deal with. Or if we move our rook to a1, allowing f3, there is no need for it. We have to really play f3. And then this should have happened sooner or later. Now it's very important about this side. I think black should keep the pawn on h7. Not on h6, neither on h5. To use h6 square for the rook. You will see that soon by some logical moves, black will be zugzwanged. And even the rook, this 6th rank, will be a little bit short for the rook. This is really the best defense for black. So white may advance her pawn to h4 because at some moment with rook a4 in such a position, she will zugzwang black, and then not only can take both pawns, d4 and f4, can hold her own on h4. It's should it be to h5, to h4, it's really very deep. It's beyond my level, at least I can easily say. If we bring Mr. Rubinstein, if we resurrect Akiba, he would have a better word about it. So eventually, after king c5, rook a4, the zugzwang comes. A problem for black, if it had been on a5, if we move everything one rank lower, that possibly she would have some chances with, in this case, with rook e5, but here with rook e6, pawn advances. Black has no time to attack these pawns, to use e3 square, and to blockade the a passer. In this sense comes only one move, king b5. There is no other moves. Rook takes, taken with the king, forced. If we exchange the rooks, we are immediately lost. And now, simple, white has to take. King e4, which looks like a better move. To bring your king to the other side really spoils the things. This is an important position that we shouldn't have forgotten. Now comes rook h6. We had to protect this guy. And as you can see, white cannot cut black's king because of the unfortunate position. If in some endings we will come, white cuts the black king from the D line, black is lost. Now black has enough time to bring his own king into the game. That's why, coming back into the critical position, here white should take the pawn. Once again, black will be happy to lose the h pawn and to bring his own king somewhere in the camp without being cut to draw this game. But there is an unfortunate moment now. best move. So king c5, rook a4, or king c7, the only move to win the game is rook b4. And black is losing with the king cut. If I put this king somewhere else, if it could enter inside, she would have a draw. Unfortunate turn of events. I mean, she started, she really played with fire in this ending. And this is very close. Still, she could create difficulties, this. But in some way, when you see the ending, because of lack of activity, this is, this shouldn't be chosen by her. And I don't know, maybe she was upset, this is many times what happens with this kind of positions, you got a bad position, you don't even, make the most resilient choices. So she started with d5, rook a1, d4, d5 came, h4. Here we already mentioned f4, f3, which was her best choice. She went to c5. Now f4 is simple, but I don't know. Just white has picked up the pawn, which is even enough, because king c6, rook a4, king b7, white brings the king from d4 to e5 and wins with two passes. And in this case, now problem occurs that black cannot go to the 6 because of the rook exchange. Goes there, gets cut badly. People who remember how Taimanov Larsen, once Larsen lost in a simple ending like this, once your king is cut, now it is cut from the 5th rank. And this makes the ending immediately lost for the Lithuanian player. Here there is really nothing to write home about. Some, how should we call it, body check, just elbowed the opponent, which I like these days ice hockey very much, hits are allowed, it's a good game, I recommend for everyone, like sometimes if the back is over the air, you can grab it, and sometimes if you are not lucky enough, the goalkeeper hits you directly. So this is like the throws the king. I mean, was it necessary? You may consider it brutal, but it works. You really bring the king one line further away. Just now the f pawn walks. I mean, here rook h7 also is, but there is no need, to risk for this h and f pawn endgame. Just the f pawn walks. And as you can see, king is on the other side, and easily, black, white has won this game. And I wanted to make something complementary, on h and f pawn endgames, which is, we always talk like h and f draw, h and f, she could run to this endgame. We already spoke about this endgames. Just to refresh in our minds, we have looked into this ending. Yeah, like here we said that if white brings both rook and king on the 8th rank, then pushes and then he can win the game. But it's really, really difficult to lose such positions for professionals. It's a simple one. And the funniest thing, you know, if everybody thinks like rook should always stay on the 8th rank, and if black is on the move to play king g6, even this is not forced. I mean, black can leave, but now he has to be really careful. Just makes a draw because of the rook's position. This we have already seen. Here, also we have a fight for the checking distance. I mean, this would have been lost for black because of unable to give checks from far away. But what all these things have to do with rook and h pawn endgames? It has a lot of direct interest into this endgame. And we always say like she could run, you know, to this h and pawn ending. Imagine that we got two pawns. If they are far advanced, we queen one of them, escort one of them to queen. Conceivably, white will try to push the h pawn to sacrifice, to divert it. That's why a classical position, in a classical position, this pawn should be blocked by black's king. The other one is candidate to be pushed because this is our crucial pawn. We will use this pawn. And say like something like this occurs. Here the principles are there. Black simply defends, discarding this pawn. Black defends, pawn got stuck. Black defends against the f pawn. Like there is only f pawn over the board. Does this one has an impact in the game? Yes, it may. Now I will show you how people lose this position. How people lose this position. It's really very, very interesting by you know, by small things. Now the main point, crossing this guy over is impossible. And king f6, black can take. King takes h6. Coming back to our issue, you know, with one pawn makes a draw. Even I can tell you that famous defense here, even this position happens, rook e8 looks like winning the game, but there is the stalemate. I don't know if everybody has seen that here the stalemate makes the draw. So this side is unusable for the king. Then comes this side, enters